Hello, everybody. I bet you didn't know there was a door over there. Anyway, welcome to the Alicia High School iPad Academy. This is our informational meeting, as you can see up on the screen. 2020, we're going into 2020, 2021. All right, here we go. Hopefully I'm gonna keep it less than an hour. Usually it goes a little bit longer than that, but since it's just me and you and the camera and whatever, I guess we'll just make it faster.
Yeah,
can I help you?
Informational meeting?
Yeah, this is the informational parent meeting. Who?
I'm you, dude.
You or me? Okay.
I'm you.
Thank you for coming. No, I don't.
Sure,
I don't need
come
any
on,
help.
help.
Oh, I'm okay.
Come on.
We're good. I can do this.
Help.
You're me. That's weird. Okay, this is strange. Because it's all through like computers and TV and stuff. I guess we could do that, but
Come on.
I don't need your help. I'm good. I just have me and the
I can
screen
do
and
the same
this
thing.
iPad, and we're
I can
done.
help you.
Shh. Okay. We're good. I'm good. Oh wait, since it's TV and computers and stuff, I could probably.
What?
Hey, be quiet. All right, let me shrink you a little bit. Let me see if that works.
What are you doing? What is happening?
Those are my sound effects.
What is that?
So that was cool. Oh, let me change
What?
the voice like
What do
a
you mean?
munchkin.
Wait,
Yep. Nope,
What?
too bad. Here you go.
what happened? What's going on?
Sorry.
Why am I so
Now you
small?
can leave. Okay, you could stay. Why don't you just sit up against the wall or the curtain there and hang out
Like this?
right up against the wall. Perfect. Now freeze. All right, stay there. That was easy. Anyway, I'm going to go through the stuff that's about to happen for your students next year, or if you decide to join, or if you haven't joined yet. Here we go. Uh-oh, that turned. Ah! If you've been here before, I make those noises. It's just me. It's not the actual presentation. Who? That was very quick. Who is involved in the iPad Academy? You know what? I'm going to make this bigger for you, so you don't have to stare at me the entire time. Let's just put the entire screen in front of you. In 2012, there were 3 teachers, 4 different classes, and only 100 students. 2013-14, we increased that amount. 14-15, it kept going. 15-16, it got even bigger. And now, the first class of 2012 is graduating from college, and we actually have a meeting with them next week, and they are 100 kids. They're super awesome. We got UCLA and Berkeley and a whole bunch of other colleges they went to. Some of them went right out into the working world, and they used whatever we did in here, still using it, even in college. So right now we have about a third of the school, 33%, about 1,200 kids in the iPad Academy for next year. Whee! These are some of the classes, not all the classes. There are many more classes than this. Biology, chemistry, forensics, basically any non-AP science class, and some of the science classes, they still allow you to use your iPad. It's just not officially an iPad Academy class. We have all of the English classes, English 1, English 2, English 3, all the honors classes as well for those. We have world history and AP Euro and even honors pre-calculus and a whole bunch of other classes that your students will continue to be in throughout their 4 years here at Alicia High School. Freshmen have a minimum requirement of biology, and we require that because some kids like to skip into chemistry or something like that, but biology is where the freshmen will get a lot of their information. They will get a lot of their training from me and Miss Baskar, who is also our honors bio iPad teacher. Whee! The students and teachers who are the core of the program, along with parents and administrators, need to be dedicated and motivated to do this in order for the academy to be successful. Here, the key is they have to be into it. You can't just force them into it. If they do that and they don't like technology, they're not going to dig it so much. If they really want to do this, those are the kids that really succeed. There are some kids that are hesitant at first, but once they get it, they all get it. And it's very easy, and they've got their peers to help them out with all of the stuff. Whee! Sorry, it's habit. Why? Why are we doing this? When the iPad first came out, I went to my principal at the time, Mr. Carter, and I said, hey, this is a great thing. Let's try to do this. And he said no. Then I went to Mr. Esrati, who was our academic assistant principal at the time, and he said, hey, that sounds like a great idea. It will never happen. that was year one. They said, let's give it a year and talk to the middle schools. Let's see if we can figure this out. And maybe we could do it the following year. And I said, you know what, let me survey them now and maybe they'll have more interest and then we'll see what happens. So I had 100 kids, again, dedicated, ready to do this thing. And then I convinced Mr. Israti and Mr. Carter to let me try it with 3 classes and we got it going. And this is probably one of the coolest things I've ever been part of at least in McGill High School. Here's a little video I found in the beginning, so years ago, and it still holds true today. Some of the stuff, not as much, but it really syncs with what we're doing at the iPad Academy. So I'm going to play this video. It's a couple minutes, maybe a minute and a half, and then we'll continue with this thing. So here you go.
Do you recognize me? Very soon I will be your student. But I will not always sit in your classroom. I will not take out a pencil or open a textbook. You grew up with books. I read from a laptop, an iPad, a smartphone. I use a keyboard more than a pen. I'm a digital native, an active learner. Why carry just a textbook when my iPad connects me to the world? I want to know things all the time, and right away. Maybe the best price for cool shoes, or where to hike the Himalayas. To learn, I look online, because the classroom isn't enough for me. Not when I can see faces, hear voices, and chat with people on the other side of the world. I want to learn about Chinese history from someone in Beijing. My school has to keep up with me, not the other way around. I have more and more choices. When you were my age, no one had heard of a charter school. No one could imagine a virtual school. But it's projected that by 2019, half of all high school courses will take place online. I use mobile devices to connect with friends, classmates, and teachers. And when I'm more connected, I'm more interested. I don't buy music at a store, or movies or books. I get them instantly online. And when they excite me, I share with friends. That's how I want my education to be. I need a degree even more than my parents. I know it, and so do my friends. But will I be prepared? Public grade schools are under huge budget pressures, and traditional college is increasingly unaffordable. I don't want crushing debt. If I can Google the best choice for cool shoes, rest assured I'll find the best choice of education, like 2-year institutions and online courses where students like me have grown to be 6 million strong. And when I'm older, I want to keep learning. Do you recognize me? Very soon, I will be changing the world. But I need you. If you're ready to help me, I'll find you. But it's your challenge to keep up with me. I'm a digital native, an active learner. Listen to me, help me. Together, we can create the future.
Okay, I hope that video made sense. All of the interconnectedness and you know, the spending money on college was something kind of separate, but still, you know, you can get things done now on the iPad that you couldn't do 8, 9, 10 years ago. Some key concepts we have: interconnectedness. The students are connected to their teachers, we're connected to the parents, and everyone can look at everything at the same time, and that's a great concept to have. And I know you guys have seen that in middle school with Google Docs and those sorts of things, but it's even more in the iPad Academy. Communication is key. I answer emails. Now I'm getting older, so I go to bed a little bit earlier, but I tell my kids I'm available until 9 or 10 at night, and I will email them right away. And you can do that without the iPad, but it's just a back and forth that we can have a lot more easily than without the iPads. And multitasking. Your kids are great multitaskers. They can already pull out their phone and look something up, and you go to the store and they find a coupon for you. They should. Those sorts of things, that's what it's all about. It's all about the stuff that they already do at home, and now they could just do it in class, and we could be connected to the outside world and not just stuck in our 4 walls in our classroom. I really believe this, and I know that it's been said a lot now in the media, but we've been saying this since we started this thing. 21st century learners become 21st century workers. If they learn how to use the technology here at school, when they go out to the real world, even if it's just an interim job when they're in college and they're a waiter at a restaurant, you've seen them pull out their iPad and well, if you get hired with iPad experience or any sort of tablet experience, you're just more easily hireable. Is that a word? I don't know. Maybe. Stay quiet over there. Whee! What is the iPad Academy? What exactly are we doing with this thing? Well, students are going to utilize their iPads to access and enhance the curriculum. They will be doing all the same curriculum as they normally do in their classes, but they're going to do it through an iPad. Some teachers will use iPad, like me, for everything, and some teachers will use it for most of the things. Sometimes tests and written work, we write everything with our actual hand, not type much, will be done in different ways. Some test security, those sorts of things, sometimes the teachers like to use other methods. They might ask you to bring out a pencil every once in a while, but typically we're using the iPads the whole time. Here is a background of an iPad from 8 years ago. They're not the same now, they're slightly different, but this is what you would normally see on your iPad. This is the major app that we use to take notes. Every single class in iPad Academy uses it. It's called Notability, and allows you to do crazy things that you would think were only able to be done with a pen and paper or pencil and paper, but you could do so much more than that. It's actually the app that they used at their last keynote address for Apple as the main note-taking app for Apple. We just happened to pick the right one 8 years ago and stuck with it. This is a very old background of it, but it's the same idea. On the left side, you can see there are folders for all of your classes, and inside the folders are like subfolders. And this one happens to be biology notes. There's 30 notes here, and they're listed on the right-hand side. Things you can do with it, and again, I'm going to stress that we like to write with the iPad. We don't like to type that much. Some kids will be stuck typing lots of things, but I encourage their writing. This is an example of just drawing a cell. Again, that's from 8 years ago. It's much better now. That was my cell drawing that I do a directed draw with the students. It's a lot more intricate now. Here are some notes. These are closed notes the kids take. This is an example of drawing for a lab that a student did a long time ago. This is just for English. They're writing in their own penmanship. You can color code everything, and you just click and click and click, and everything's color coded, and you can change the colors really quickly. You don't have to erase, you don't have to change stuff. You just circle it, highlight it, hit style, change it. Annotating. Any classic book for English is available online. If it's a classic, you can download the free PDF version, and the kids can write right on there. They can use virtual sticky notes, or they can actually just color code everything like this person did. And I know that you guys aren't actually here, and I do get nervous presenting in front of people, but I am sweating right now, so that's awesome. I'm sure you wanted to know that, but that's why I keep wiping my head. Here's math. Now, math is a lot better than this particular screenshot I took a long time ago. All the lines are straight. You could draw a circle and hold, and it makes a perfect circle. Squares. The graph paper, you could change the type of paper that you have in the background. You can go from line paper to graph paper like you see right here. It's just very functional for math. The very first year we did this, some of the kids weren't liking it so much, and now most of the kids say math is their favorite class to take in the iPad Academy, including my kid who was a sophomore taking pre-calculus or honors pre-calculus, and she is in the iPad version of the class, and that's all she uses, and she says she loves it on the iPad. School Loop is the app that we're going to use. Actually, we're going to use the website more than the app, and you guys should be familiar with School Loop if you're in the Capital Starting Unified School District. And I know I talk quickly, but feel free to rewind whenever you'd like to. This is Edmodo. It's a Facebook-like social interaction platform, a social networking platform that I can actually control. I can delete stuff, I can see what the kids write and all that stuff, and I can control what is posted. This is just between students right here, between teachers and students on that page, and this last page is actually between, oh no, this is still Mr. Boucher, who used to be our English teacher, is now at Tesoro. This is between our students and some students in Nepal that we had an exchange with them, and we did some live Skyping with them 8 years ago. It was pretty neat. And we allowed them to get on our Edmodo site and share information with us. Just different apps that you can see. You can imagine that when we're working with DNA, you'd want to take that DNA molecule and you'd want to manipulate it in 3 dimensions so you can actually see it more than just a page on the book. Here, of course, we have glucose, C6H12O6. Do the same thing. Google Earth. We're working on evolution right now. Isn't it cool that we can talk about the Galapagos Islands with Darwin, and we can actually zoom in and see what those islands look like and how close they're related and the different geographical features on each island, as you can see here. I think I might take you for a few seconds around this thing, and then we'll get back.
So while you're reading about Darwin's observations in your textbook that's actually on the iPad, and you get to a spot like this that starts talking about the Galapagos Islands and the different tortoises you might find, instead of staring at this two-dimensional map to try to figure it out, why don't you go ahead and click over to Google Earth, type in Galapagos Islands. You can search for it. You can zoom in on the islands. You can go to any of the islands where he might have mentioned the different types of tortoises. You can go see that there's a volcano in the middle of this island, and you can look at it in 3 dimensions and spin around and get a much more immersive experience.
All right, that was a little tour of Google Earth and a few different apps that we use. Skype, would it be great to be in your Spanish class and Skype someone who actually speaks Spanish? We haven't gotten to that point yet, but that's just something that we can do in the future. Oh, it's spun around again. Dropbox, we will use as a backup. Google Drive is going to be our main backup. All students have access with their @USD Google account to Google Drive. So we're going to make sure that we integrate this into almost everything we do. They can have unlimited storage for the @USD accounts, and you could follow that from when they were in kindergarten all the way through when they graduate to as a senior. So we use Google Drive all the time, almost every day. Whee! How? How are we doing this? How do we put this whole thing together? Well, first, you signed a parent agreement. Now, you're a freshman, the first year that we weren't at school to turn in the parent agreement, so what we did was we put them online. You should have signed a electronic parent agreement. That was one of the main things you had to do to get on this list. So you first filled out an initial interest survey, and then you filled out an online parent agreement, and I attached the PDF version. I do not want your PDF version. It's for you. It's for reference. This is the 17-18 version, but yours says 2021. If you'd like another copy of that, it's on the elisanagel.com/iPad Academy. Again, it goes through the different apps that you'll need and the different requirements for the iPad that you're going to use. Remember, it's a family iPad. It's an iPad you already have, and we're just allowing you to use it in school. If you choose to go out and get a new iPad, that's fine. The requirements will be on the PDF, and I'll resend those out, or I'll again post those on the website. So you should have gone through this carefully. One of the things is you need to set up a Google account for your student. It should be their first name, last name, and then at google.com, obviously. If they are an Alex Smith, there are 3.6 million of them in the world. You're going to want to choose something like alex.smith ANHS or alex.smith1234, something like that. Or the last 2 numbers of their birthday is great. The year of their birth is great. Most kids end up using this iPad Academy Gmail account after, so think about that. If you add the ANHS, they might not use it, but it has to be a brand new account. This is very important, a brand new account for the iPad Academy, because I can't let them check their email in class if I'm not sure what's coming through their email. So we'll only get emails and sign up for apps with this one for the iPad Academy. So if there is something we need to send them, or they're doing corresponding with a scientist somewhere, they're using this and not their personal email account, which I have no idea what is showing up in those things, and I can't allow that in class. Woo! Okay, and then on the back side, it basically says things like, you're understanding that this is your iPad and not ours, and our district is not going to go through and help you fix it if you break it. It has to be fully charged and all those things. Read those things carefully, please. District liability. Your kid has an iPad, they're at school, and all the kids know your kid has an iPad. If your kid leaves their iPad in their backpack by the flagpole, which has happened, someone's going to take it. They walk away from the backpack for an hour, someone's going to take it. Someone left it on the sports field in the stadium, left the backpack there, forgot it was there, went home with a friend, came back the next day and wondered where their backpack was and why their iPad was gone. Really, I think those are the only 2 that have actually ever been taken at our school, but still, it's an iPad. People want it. If they know that they have it, they're not protecting it, that's on them. Whee! Okay, this is the student agreement, separate from the parent agreement. I'm actually going to collect this electronically through the advisement class that they have. And at the very first week of school, they will get an assignment in there, and they'll need to have you sign it and they sign it. They need to read it carefully and upload it. A few highlights here that I want to point out. Things like VPNs. You see that right here. A VPN is a virtual private network. It's what your student will use to try to get around our internet filter. We're required by the California Department of Education. It's a law that if we provide free internet for your students, free Wi-Fi, that we protect it, that we put filters on it. And if your kid tries to get around our filters, it puts our program in jeopardy. And if that's the case, they will be removed immediately from the iPad Academy. We can't really discuss that at all. It's just something to protect our iPad Academy. We have to do that. The rest of these rules, it's the same thing. They cheat using their iPad, we kick them out. And they need to go through this and carefully read it and then sign it and upload it at the beginning of the year. Whee! Ooh, when is this happening? Well, it's already started, right? Students who turned in the parent agreements and filled out the follow-up survey by Thursday, March 20th are already being scheduled. The follow-up survey being the parent agreement. They're already being scheduled. They're probably already in iPad Academy classes. Students who turned in the parent agreements after March 20th, and I extended it a little bit. The date I believe was April 4th. They will still also be scheduled, are being scheduled already. March 20th will be scheduled on first come, first served basis until classes are full. So right now you might have gotten an email from me saying, hey, you were interested, we never got anything from you, but we still have spots in biology. Biology right now, I know, is still open. We still have room for about 20 students in biology, and if you are watching this and you didn't sign up for the iPad Academy, you can still get your student enrolled in iPad, and we will put them for sure in biology in my class, and possibly one or two other classes. But again, you're very late on this stuff, so hopefully you got it in on time and we don't have to worry about that. Once the classes are full, we'll start with a waiting list and we'll let you know about that. You will know at the end of the year, on June 4th, if your student is actually in. We schedule all the way through August actually with all of our master scheduling, but we need to make sure that we have all your students placed and you have at least a couple classes. If you signed up on time, you will know by June 4th. Do not go out and run out and buy, the latest and greatest iPad right now if you're not sure that you were going to be in the iPad Academy. Whee! 2020, 2021 iPad Academy students will be notified by the end of the 2018-2019 school year. That would have been 2 years ago. That's impossible. That I didn't fix. You will be notified at June 4th, like I said, of this year. Freshman iPad students will be in at least biology or honors biology and English 1 or English 1 honors. There might be a couple of you that don't fit that because you are taking classes that don't fit well with our schedule, and you will get, if you don't get biology and English, you'll get biology and at least 2 other classes, might be math and Spanish. But we try to get everyone in at least biology and English. It's no guarantee that you're going to be in more than those 2 classes. However, some kids, a lot of kids I should say, freshmen, end up with 5 iPad Academy classes. English, science, math, Spanish, and I'm forgetting one, but there are 5. Health is the 5th usually. Whee! August 10th through 12th, that's a big question mark because we don't even know if we'll be allowed back in school by then, but there will be some sort of training. It is mandatory only for new sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Freshmen, you're encouraged to go, but you don't have to. Again, you'll get all of your training in your biology class or your honors biology class. So we're going to go over all this stuff. I imagine it'll be something more like this, and I will make videos and we can interact, and we might even have some Google Meets to go over some stuff you're confused about. That's probably more likely what's going to happen at the end of the summer for these particular trainings, but we don't know yet. There are also videos already on the website, and I have a link to a YouTube account that we use for the iPad Academy. Tuesday, August 18th, 2020, it's coming up so soon. That's when we start. It begins. Let's zoom out so you can now see me so we can answer some questions. First, here's a quiz. What is the name of our main note-taking app?
Notability.
Somebody in the audience?
Notability.
There's nobody in the audience.
Me.
And I can't see your hands being...
Me.
Okay.
Me.
All right, we're going to use
Notability.
a small me over here, the Munchkin.
Notability.
All right, what is the name of our major note-taking app?
Notability.
Notability. You are exactly right.
Yes.
You are amazing. Well, you're me, but smaller. How about another question? Well, we're going to keep asking the small me over here. What day do we start school next year?
We don't know.
We don't know.
No.
We do know it is August 18th, 2020.
Okay.
Good job, little me
Alright,
or
alright.
small me.
Cool.
Who will be teaching iPad biology and honors iPad biology?
Oh, me.
Yes,
Me.
you, which is me,
And Mrs.
and
Basker.
Miss Baskar. You're very right. Very
Yes.
good. We love Miss Baskar. She is amazing with the iPad, and she
She's
helps
awesome.
do the training for the students who are in
She's my
honors
favorite.
biology iPad.
She's my favorite teacher.
Questions that I have. You know what? You
What about
can
me?
you could go take your seat again, like just against the curtain.
Here?
Perfect. And then freeze. Nice. I feel magical. AP Biology, yes, there are 5 or 6 freshmen that will be in the iPad Academy that will be taking AP Biology. That is fine. We assume that the AP Bio freshmen, crazy brainiacs that they are, can handle the stuff that I will be doing as far as training, and we expect them to do the summer training, and I'm available to help them at any time. External keyboard, no. You are going to get your kid an external keyboard, some of you, and they're going to sit there and just type, and they're not going to learn how to use their stylus. I would suggest no external keyboard. It's really easy to type away on the iPad. I know it seems for us who are computer natives, most of us, that getting on the iPad with the little keyboard doesn't work, but the kids do so well with it. Plus, they could use the dictation. They click the little button, and when they're in the car, they can be reading out their English paper. Then they go back and edit it, which is even better because now they've seen it twice. So there's so many things that they can do with the iPad, and I would suggest that you don't get them that external keyboard, but of course you can get one for $8 online through Amazon, and they work just fine. Apple Pencil, wow. 4 years ago, before they had it, there was no Apple Pencil. It came out 3 years ago, I believe, and only like 2 or 3 kids in my classes had it because they had to have the iPad Pro. Last year, it was with the just regular iPad, you could use it, and more kids had it. And this year, I would say 70 to 80% of our students actually use, or freshmen, actually have and always use their Apple Pencil. If you don't want to buy them the Apple Pencil, wait till Christmas or Hanukkah or New Year's to get it for them. Get them used to some other sort of stylus. There are so many different kinds of styli you can use right now, and I call them styli. I'm sure that's not correct, but we've been using it since we started the iPad Academy. Octopus, octopi, stylus, styli. It makes sense to me. So my kid has an Apple Pencil. I bought it for her in the beginning. She loves it. But you don't have to get one. There are all sorts of ones similar to an Apple Pencil. They're not going to be as good, but they don't need to be as good. There's the ones with a little disc on the top. There's ones that are actually Bluetooth connected, or at least they look like they are, but they really heat up the tip, so it's like your finger. I like the super cheap ones that have the microfiber tips on them, and you can get a 10-pack for like $6. And so, they do wear out after a couple months, but if they have 6 of them, they should last the whole year, or 10 of them, they should last the whole year. Can you opt out of certain classes? No. You can't say, well, I heard they didn't like this particular teacher. Just like any other class, you can't opt out of iPad Academy classes because of a certain teacher or how you think you're gonna do it. It will mess up our whole schedule. We have 6 periods in the day, 3,000 students, and 120 something teachers, and there are literally millions of schedules that we can have on our campus. And if you decide to change one, it really is a domino effect throughout the entire schedule. So we don't allow that. You get whatever iPad Academy classes we can schedule your student in based on the master schedule and their schedule and what fits. And other than that, we're not going to pull them out or force them into any of the other classes. The last thing I want to mention is screen time. If you have an iPhone and your kids have an iPhone or an iPad, screen time is probably the coolest addition for parents, and I have 2 students, to the iOS system. So really quickly, if you don't have this enabled, you need to go home immediately and enable it. This is a shot of your settings. You'll notice where it says screen time. You would click on it, and then you get this. This is my phone, so you can see that I spent on E's phone. My first name, Eric Silverman, by the way. I don't even think I said that when I walked in. 4 hours and 6 minutes on whatever, but you see my 2 students below. You see Danielle and you see Devin. And if we were to click on Danielle, you would see this. It says that she spent 7 hours and 13 minutes on her devices today. And then you can change everything. When does she have to be off the thing? What kind of apps can she use at what times? All of these things. I would suggest you don't do any of that until you see things happening, they're using it too much, whatever, and then start adding restrictions to it. But then you can click specifically on what she's done, and you can see that the alarm clock, because she uses her iPhone as her alarm clock. It was on for 5 hours and 48 minutes. How long she spent on messages, on Instagram, on Safari, on Cliff Notes. But then you realize these are all of her devices. So you can click on devices in the top right, and you'll see there's her iPad. I'm not sure what feet is. There's my wife's phone, another iPad, and then you can click on all devices. That's her iPad. So if you want to look at all of her logins to all of those devices, then we can see it all combined. And you can see all she spent on her iPad, a notability document, 7 hours and 24 minutes. She spent 2 hours and 60 minutes in Docs. In Adobe Acrobat reading a book, same idea. So you can see everything that they've been doing the whole time. If you click on one of the apps like Docs, it'll tell you she used Docs, and it tells you the average time, what time of the day, how often they were using it. You can click on Instagram, it will tell you they were on Instagram at 2:30 a.m. and then you can have that conversation with them. So all of these things are trackable, and you don't get on their device, you do it from your device, which is the coolest part. Anyway, I'm going to end it there unless there are any other questions. Oh, I see there are no questions. This is the good part about doing this virtually, is not everyone's yelling at me. If you do have questions for me, again, go back to the slide that has my information on it. It is ebsilberman@capousd.org. In fact, if I do this, I could probably find it on here. Right, nope, not gonna mess around. Other than that, you guys, you have a wonderful day. You know how to email me if you need to, but first go to www.elisanigel.com/iPad Academy to look for the questions, because I answer lots of them on there, and instead of 500 people emailing me, it's better you go there and try to find the answer before you email me. I appreciate it. Hey, I'm so stoked to be seeing your kids in the fall. You guys take care, have a great summer. Get ready for iPad for next year, and on June 4th, you will be getting an email, whether you're in iPad or based on scheduling issues, maybe you're not in iPad, but most of you, no problems. We'll see you next year. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.